My name is Tim Stephenson. I'm a voice actor. I've been doing it for some time now. And I'd like to talk to you about acoustic conditioning and soundproofing. Soundproofing is when you try to keep the sound from getting into your booth. The lawnmower outside, the traffic, and so on, birds chirping. And acoustic conditioning is where you're trying to keep your voice from bouncing off the walls and coming back into your microphone. Soundproofing is not for mere mortals. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, but you just can't afford it. Nobody can. Well, I mean, Bill Gates could, but just basically nobody can. Trying to stop the rumble from traffic or the airplane that's going overhead or the train, forget it. Wait it out, come back later. Have a cup of coffee, go for a walk, something. But, I mean, there are some tricks you can pull. I use a bit of software called Clarity VX, and it works very well for a low hum that you might have from your heater or something like that. But basically, soundproofing is something that's just hard to do unless you have a tremendous amount of mass, a completely airtight room, and the room itself is built with its own independent ceiling and floor, and it's all sitting on top of rubber pucks that keep it off the, so it's not connected to the main building and so on. It's pretty much out of reach. But acoustic conditioning is something just about anybody can do. What you need is something soft and fluffy, basically all around you. And that can be done with a PVC or a 2x2 frame or something, and blankets draped all around, sleeping bags, the duvet, a quilt that you're not using. Go down to the thrift store, buy them out, have a good time. And that'll work surprisingly well. And the blanket fort is a time-honored solution for voiceover artists starting world around. If you have a little more money, build yourself a booth using builder's insulation, the pink fluffy stuff. You can use rock wool. It's twice as expensive or so. Works a little bit better, but not really to justify the price. I made a bookshelf out of just pine and slapped the thing together so that the shelves in it were the same size as the bats that I bought for the insulation. Jammed them all in there with fabric on both sides, and away I go. Works great. Listen to the reverb in my voice. There isn't any. Here's an example of somebody that has hard walls around him. We'll listen to that now.
Welcome to the Rescue Time Productivity Challenge. Over the next month, we're going to radically transform how you work, help you build powerful habits, and block the distractions that get in the way of being productive. But first, let's get something out of the way. Changing any behavior, especially like where you're spending your time, isn't easy and can even get pretty uncomfortable at times.
Kind of different than my voice, isn't it? Here's Booth Junkie. Booth Junkie's got 3 inches on 2 sides of his booth, and he's got 6 inches on the other 2 sides. Listen to him.
I did end up adding a second round of insulation to this wall and to this wall. So this wall over here is actually 6 inches thick with mineral wool, and this wall is 6 inches thick. So before you saw that it was, there were studs this way. Well, I added another set this way. So there's a stud here and a stud down here. And so that I could do insulation across. So I ended up adding another round of 6 more inches. So I've got 3 inches here, 3 inches on the wall behind the camera, and 6 inches everywhere else. And on the floor, it's about an inch of padding, really just for an anti-fatigue.
That's what you're supposed to sound like. If you have any questions, drop me a note. Tim@medvoiceover.com. Tim@medvoiceover.com. Thank you very much.